one thing was clear: evacuate immediately. The stadium behind me here only serves as a baseball backdrop. An officer will avoid prison despite his conviction, especially when you have flames shooting about 30 feet out of the ground. You guys can't be signing for customers.
Typically, no. I mean, that's not something that we
typically or
no,
never.
And
East St. Louis Mayor Alvin Parks has changed his mind on extending hours for bars and nightclubs. A sure sign one of the oldest scams is alive and well. The country's attention is on the manhunt underway in Boston. Bad news for those people starting their morning. You can see the water being pumped out of this hose right now. 4th of July fun in Oklahoma marred with tragedy.
Mike Colombo of our St. Louis affiliate KMOV is in West Alton, Missouri.
Good morning to you. Officials here in West Alton, Missouri are keeping a very close eye on the flood waters. The barricades behind me are blocking US 67. Officials say the flood waters are about 1/10 of a mile from where I'm standing. Over here, they've crafted a levee overnight. They're doing whatever they can to keep the flood waters out of this community. But last night when that warning went out, one thing was clear: evacuate immediately. The rapidly rising waters breached the levees shortly after 8 p.m. Monday in West Alton, Missouri, about 20 miles north of St. Louis. Heavy rainfall from severe storms over the weekend brought water levels from the Mississippi River to over 33 feet by Monday morning. That's 13 feet above flood stage.
I came through here this morning, and again, it was fine. And then again, 6-8 hours later, this is what you're looking at.
Even before the breach, many area roads were already underwater, causing major headaches for travelers and local businesses forced to shut down.
It's just sad for some of the restaurants because a month ago they had to take everything out and then they put it all back in, cleaned it all, and now they had to take it all out again.
Despite the heavy lifting, area residents and volunteers are already joining forces to make sure this community stays afloat.
Everybody gets together and helps each other. You help your neighbor, help your friends. So if everybody helps everybody out, this would be a great world.
Despite the warning, many residents here in this town of about 300 say they will stay put. The National Weather Service says there is still a slight risk for flash flooding this afternoon. Good news to report: no injuries thus far. Nora, Charlie.
News 4's Mike Colombo brings us the story of a Granite City family with a musical memory that will live forever.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, it's safe to say this one doesn't have a price.
Well, my father asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said I want to meet Stan Musial.
Hospitalized with polio, 11-year-old Bill Herbst didn't exactly make that birthday buy easy for his parents.
Later, when he left the hospital, he thought, oh my God, how do I make this happen?
But parents can be miracle workers, and on October 23, 1950, a unusual miracle took place at St. Mary's Hospital in East St. Louis.
It was very hard to believe that a man like that would take time to come see somebody like me.
But this wasn't just any man, it was Stan the Man.
It's just a case of your idol, someone you idolized from the time you could really remember, walking in suddenly and saying, "Hi, Bill." And, I was flabbergasted.
And blown away a year later when Stan sent this autographed photo on his 13th birthday.
And I was terribly impressed with that, too, that he remembered a year later.
Over 50 years later, Bill's daughter Beth helped bring her father's moment with Musial full circle.
We've heard the Stan Musial story multiple times over the years, and I just really wanted to get it signed for him.
Tell us what his emotions were like when he opened the gift and saw this.
There wasn't a dry eye in the room. There really wasn't.
Is it crazy for you to think that the 20 or 30 minutes that you guys spent together all those years ago still has such a tremendous impact on your life?
Oh, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. I think about it quite often, in fact, because as I've said before, outside of my family, it's something I'll cherish till the day they bury me.
Cherishing Stan Musial the person as much as Stan Musial the player, the Cardinals' patron saint in a town known as baseball heaven. I'm Mike Colombo, News 4.
And that didn't work. They called Colombo. Not only did he get them answers, he got them a new car.
So we wanted to buy a used car, something a little less expensive.
Last May, Lloyd Garcia bought this 2009 Jetta for his wife from the Dean team in Kirkwood. Almost immediately, there were problems.
You could smell something burning, like a hose or a belt.
Not to mention the car was riding rough. So they decided to get rid of it. Lloyd took it to a different dealer and got a big surprise.
And they ran the Carfax for a trade-in and showed me that the car had unibody damage.
Wait a minute, how could that be? The Dean team had given them this Carfax that clearly showed no issues. But that was wrong. This Carfax shows a yellow alert for structural damage, a possible safety issue. So what gives? Dean team managers refuse to comment on camera for this story, but say they do have an explanation. They say they bought the Jetta sight unseen from Florida through an online auction. They say they printed out the Carfax back in October 2011 when they bought it. And that's the Carfax they gave to the Garcias, at which point it was 7 months old.
I feel they purposely misrepresented the vehicle they sold to me, that they knew what they were doing when they did it in order to make a sale.
The Dean team strongly denies that. They say they gave the Garcias the old Carfax report because they had no reason to believe anything had changed with the car since they purchased it. However it happened, the Garcias were stuck.
We paid a lot of money for the car, and 9-10 months later, it's worth 50% of what we paid for it.
Naturally, the Garcias wanted a different car. They say the Dean team's only offer was take the Jetta as a trade, take a loss, and sell them a more expensive car. The Garcias refused, and negotiations ceased.
They never returned my call. I never heard from them. I called twice, never heard anything.
So the Garcias called us, and we called the Dean team. The sales manager insists this was all a terrible misunderstanding. Hours after talking to us, he called the Garcias with a new offer.
He told me that because some things had slipped through the cracks, that's why we had gone 6-8 weeks without any communication or anything, and he wanted to make us right.
And did they ever? The Garcias now have a newer car with fewer miles and a lower monthly payment.
Honestly, I owe that to KMOV, so I appreciate that very much.
And this time, Garcia says the Dean team gave him a full, current Carfax report. So a lesson for all of us. When you ask for a Carfax, demand it's current and that you get every page. I'm Mike Colombo, News 4.